I'm talking about the community of Eiffel Flats, which is about 10 kilometers outside of Kadoma. About 5 years ago, they stated that they intended to start mining and that they would be buying the houses that were going to be affected by the mining. They started mining. They bought off 5 or 6 properties, which were in what is now the pit, the Cam and Motor pit, and they started mining. And initially they were only mining using excavators and things like that, so the residents were not too concerned. Then in 2017 they started blasting, and they were blasting, creating obviously huge noise, vibrations. The houses are cracking up, and the residents now started to get concerned about the dust, about the noise, about the cracking up of their houses, and the school was affected by the blasting, and the flying rocks were starting to fly all over the place. That is when we now started litigation, because Rio Zim were not interested in addressing the problem. They weren't interested in buying the properties that are being affected, and that's when we started our litigation. The dust is just terrible. Rio Zim have redirected roads. They have redirected water. The situation as it is right now, we are getting no municipal water in Eiffel Flats. We are relying on boreholes. I am lucky enough to have a borehole, and the borehole is now supplying many people around there. Of course, with the power situation, it's even made that worse. So now I'm having to run my borehole from the generator to keep the people fed with water. Rio Tinto don't care. In the case of the flying rocks, they have continued as if nothing is going on. You know, as if the flying rocks are flying all over the place. I've got a recorded video of a piece of tire that flew more than 500 meters and landed right next to where people were having lunch. Rio Zim was supposed to blast at a specific time between 1 and 2, which they were supposed to give notice of. Sometimes they blast at 4 o'clock, sometimes they blast at 3 o'clock. You never know when they're going to blast. All the houses are cracking up in a place called, one of the suburbs called Parktown. They are particularly badly affected by the cracking up of the houses. Rio Tinto come, they fix the crack and they disappear. When the stones that are flying from the blasting hit people's roof, all they do is they come and replace the roof, and off they go again. They're completely unconcerned with the welfare of the people. Every single day when they are blasting, it happens 3 or 4 times a week, maybe 5 times a week, they evacuate people out of the houses. This is completely against the constitutional rights of the occupants. I mean, you can imagine old gogos moving out of their house, then for an hour, then they blast. They don't know what time it's going to come, whether it's going to become 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock. And it's just a terrible situation. The dust, people are inhaling the dust, they're inhaling the fumes from the blasting, which are very dangerous. And Rio Zim used to water the roads. They don't water the roads anymore. They don't grade the roads anymore. The main road into town, which is a national road, has just collapsed completely because of their mining activity, because they've got all the dumps and that right next to the road. They're using that main road as a haulage road, which is against the Mines and Minerals Act. The school, some of those rocks landed against the fence of the school. That was when our case that we won in the High Court. It was, we had photographs and eyewitness accounts of these rocks that landed against the school fence. We have written as a community, as an Eiffel Flats Residents Association, we've written to to the Deputy Minister of Mines. We've written to the Mines and the Department of it's not a department, the Ministry of Mines. There's a people in Kadoma, what they used to be called the Mining Commissioner is now the Provincial Director of Mining, is in Chinhoyi. We've written to them, we've spoken to them, we've spoken to EMA, the Environment Management Authority. We've asked to see the special grant that they were given and the environmental impact assessment which they were given. They haven't Environmental Management Authority will not do anything. The situation is just terrible. The school children which used to walk to school through the mine are now forced to walk on the main road going into Kadoma to get to school. As you can imagine, the haulage trucks are running up and down, and these children are forced to walk in amongst these haulage. How there hasn't been an accident, I don't know.